Good evening and welcome to a program devoted entirely to Lefties Losing It. And I love starting the show with world-class hypocrites, and there are none better than hopelessly out-of-touch celebrities, whether they're Hollywood stars or singers like Billie Eilish.
Love you all, but there's a few people in here that have a lot more money than me. And if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? No hate, but yeah, give your money away, shorties. Love you guys.
Billy, why stop at billionaires? Your net worth is reportedly well north of 50 million US. Why? Why haven't you given it all away? Why are you charging more than $100 for the cheapest tickets to your concerts? Don't you have enough? Poor dim-witted hypocrite Billy has been sharing her daft political ideas for several years now. Remember this back in 2020, campaigning for the Democrats. She seriously thought Joe Biden was the saviour. Lord.
You don't need me to tell you things are a mess. Donald Trump is destroying our country and everything we care about.
Let's check in now with the world's biggest victim and gaslighter, Michelle Obama. This is really too much, even by her poor me standards.
You said we were all too aware that as a first black couple, we couldn't afford any missteps.
Yeah.
And you also say, as a black woman, I was under a particularly white hot glare. Did you feel that?
For sure. You can't afford to get anything wrong because you didn't get at least until the country came to know us, we didn't get the grace that I think some other families have gotten.
The truth is the Obamas weren't treated like other first couples. They were treated a lot better. It was endless adulation. And on the rare occasions when there was some criticism from a couple of conservatives in the media, well, the rest of the media mob would be there to defend the couple, to attack anybody who would dare criticise this pair. You want to talk about lack of grace? Look at how Melania is treated. Michelle had how many Vogue covers? Talking about gaslighting, let's go to Lefties Losing It regular now, the woman who is among the most vile creatures to ever feature on MSNBC, and that is a crowded field, folks. Here is Jennifer Welch with an ugly diatribe against Riley Gaines. A genuine women's rights warrior is Riley Gaines, who has campaigned to keep male bodies out of female sports, and she has been attacked for that work every day. Attacked by the likes of this bitter banshee.
One thing I want to say about Riley Gaines, as she sits there and has the moral high ground against AOC, when I look at people, if I were to say who's more Christ-like, I would pick AOC and the atheist Jew Bernie Sanders and the Muslim Zoran Mamdani a million times over you, Riley Gaines, because Riley Gaines, all you do is hate on people. You are wound up like a cheap clock over trans people. You show them no grace, no compassion.
Yes, Riley Gaines is the one who lacks grace. Well done, Jennifer. Another sane take from you. Remember last week she was championing crazy women who wanted conservatives to be shot dead? Yes, so much compassion, so much grace. That rant might be aimed at Riley Gaines, but it really would be better aimed at a mirror. Every accusation is a confession.
And then you have the audacity to get on television and try to lecture people who fight for the people that are suffering, that stand and put their arms around people that need sanctuary. And you try to act like you're better than they are. You're an insufferable. Nobody likes you, and no matter what, you will always have been the dumb that tied for 5th place.
In the mirror, Jennifer, repeat it into a mirror until you develop a soul, you delusional, lying, bile-filled lunatic. Now let's get back to daft celebrities, this time from the acting world. And here is a turkey campaigning for Christmas. Here is Mandy Patinkin campaigning for Zoran Mamdani. He wants him to not just take over New York City, but also America and then the world.
We are going to win this because we have this extraordinary human being who is going to lead our city and eventually, if we're really thinking, our nation and the world to a better, safer, all-inclusive existence. And that's what I love about this guy.
You know, someone in Kamala Harris's team needs to have a word with her. Needs to have a serious talk with the former vice president about doing interviews after happy hour. I mean, this is just unedifying.
Are you kidding me? This guy wants to create a ballroom for his rich friends while completely turning a blind eye to the fact that babies are going to starve when the SNAP benefits end in just hours from now? Come on. So what? I'm not going to be distracted by, oh, does the guy have a big hammer? What about those babies?
Now, what is truly disturbing about Kamala Harris, other than the gross incompetence, the pathological lying, the wine mum bravado, is the fact that she apparently believed her own propaganda. She believed the fake news, the discredited polls that said she was going to win. The woman was delulu.
I was in a state of shock.
Really? Did you think the day before that you were going to win the election?
I did.
Yeah. And so when did the proverbial penny drop?
When I got a call from my campaign manager that it looks like we need 200,000 more votes that we can't find. Meaning it's just the map, the numbers. And the thing I kept saying over and over again, I was in a state of shock. I was so inarticulate, but maybe very articulate. What I kept saying over and over again is, my God, my God, my God.
Really?
Over and I couldn't stop.
If you're a homeowner in America, you need to listen to this. The FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud on the rise called title theft, and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on a single document, use a fake notary stamp and file it with a county. And just like that, on record, they own your home. Using your ownership, they can take out loans against your equity or even sell your property. And you won't know about it until foreclosure or collection notices show up in the mail. That's why I've partnered with Home Title Lock so you can protect your equity and find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promo code Rita at hometitlelock.com and you'll get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title records, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud occurs, their US-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. Don't be a victim. Protect your equity today. That's hometitlelock.com, promo code Rita, or use the link below. Let's start with The View, and here's Sunny Hostin repeating nonsense put forward by Democrat activists. She states it like it's verified fact, and then Whoopi Goldberg jumps in with another fib claiming Donald Trump is using an auto pen just like Joe Biden did. Now, the fun really begins when they're asked to correct that lie.
The Trump family has made about $1.8 billion profited off of this government. And he said that Joe Biden didn't know who he was pardoning using an auto pen. How come you don't know who this guy is?
Because he used an auto pen. The meetings that they're supposed to go to, when they're listening to, what the hell, what?
I love when Sonny passes notes.
We don't know if Trump used an auto pen to part. It was a joke.
Yes. We don't know if Trump used an auto pen to part.
Come on.
But we do know that he didn't know who that crypto guy was.
It was a joke. It wasn't funny. It wasn't said in jest. It followed a bunch of other BS. But apparently, folks, we just missed the nuance. So much nuance on The View. But here is something different for The View. They actually had a conservative woman, yes, a real conservative woman, on with the panel. They tried their best to get Marjorie Taylor Greene to criticise Donald Trump.
He's worse. Sorry, you know that. He's still your favorite president. He goes against everything you just said.
Look, I like Donald Trump. I fought for him to win. I'm very thankful for the secure border. I'm friends with Lake and Riley's mother. And we saw I serve on Homeland Security. Over 12 million people came across our border. Over 2 million gotaways. These are terrorists, cartels, all kinds of criminals. We don't know where they are in this country, and that affects all of us.
It was a very pleasant chat. Everyone was on their best behaviour, not so much a robust debate as polite niceties. But at least Joy Behar admits here that any Republican or Conservative coming on The View is going to be in a 5 versus 1 battle.
A lot of people wanted me to come on the show and say nasty things and you know, all of us to fight. They wanted all of us to fight.
Thank you for not doing that.
Oh my goodness, no. I didn't want to around that.
It's like 5 to 1.
She could handle it, but she didn't want to.
Now to a woman losing it for legitimate reasons. If she's a lefty, hopefully she changes her mind after this experience. Here is singer Tish Hyman's reaction after she had her Gold's Gym membership terminated because she dared speak out about a male body in the women's change room. Gotta say, I love this woman.
Gold's Gym! Men! Grown men with big in the women's locker room! And that's why I'm getting kicked out, and I want to make sure the girls know! Everybody saw that man in the locker room. No one's saying, and I'm done with it. It's stupid. It's dangerous. Me naked in front of a man without my permission. But I ain't the one who gets kicked out the gym, y'all. I'm terminated for not wanting men in the locker room.
She's right, it is dangerous. She's confronted with a male body in the women's change rooms, a male body that is watching her naked body. She didn't consent to being naked in front of that man, and yet she's the one whose gym membership is terminated. Let's have a look at that clash with Tish and that dude, and then she explains why she was so upset.
Stay out of the women's locker room. We don't want it. He needs to have his gym membership revoked for that. Today I was naked in the locker room. I turn around and there's a man there. In boy clothes, lip gloss, standing there looking at me. I'm butt naked. So the first thing I think is maybe there's a worker in here. Maybe I missed a sign. I say the word sir to say, sir, what are you doing in here? He goes, don't talk to me. I'm a woman. I have a right to be in here. Immediately, I'm pissed because I'm butt naked. I feel violated. I feel like weird. Like I don't want to deal with this.
She may be a woman, she may be black and a lesbian, but the trans activists always trump other minority groups when it comes to the victimhood stakes. Shame on Gold's Gym for allowing that to happen and for punishing the victim. But that's Gavin Newsom's California for you. And talking about Gavin, here is what can only be described as weapon-grade chutzpah.
Nothing I dislike more than the politician that sits there and lies to you. And we all just sit there rolling our eyes going, give me a break.
Incredible to hear that from a habitual liar, one of the very worst in politics. And here's a very handy trick to figure out when Gavin Newsom is lying. It's when his lips are moving. Now, remember Linda Sarsour, the Islamist activist who was celebrated and elevated by the Obama administration, the woman who led the Women's March. Remember that? That was hilarious, given her support for Sharia law. Well, she's back and she's ready to spill the beans on Zoran Mamdani's rise to power. Take note, America.
The story is not just, that it's random that Zoran ascended to this place. It is our Muslim American communities. And I'll also say that it's Muslim money. The PACs that have supported Zoran, or a particular PAC that has supported Zoran, is probably over 80% of Muslim American donors in this country. High net donors, grassroots donors. And I want to make the point that the Unity and Justice Fund PAC, which is the CARE Super PAC, was the largest institutional donor to the pro-Zoran PAC in New York.
We've already brought you footage of a brave woman, Tish Hyman, who took a stand against male bodies in the women's change rooms at Gold's Gym. She had a membership terminated for speaking out, and now the man who was watching her naked in the locker room and probably dangling his doodle around, well, he's now getting a platform on TMZ. Watch these clowns pretend this dude is a woman.
One of the people that Tish says she confronted in the locker room. Her name is Alexis Black, and she's joining us now. Alexis, welcome to TMZ Live.
Hi. It says female on my ID and hormones, and I mean, I'm registered as a female with the gym. So.
And were you at that moment, because she told us about a couple of different encounters, were you fully clothed at that moment?
Well, she has become aggressive with me on 4 different occasions, actually at different locations in Los Angeles at Gold's Gym. But fully clothed. I believe I was enrobed in a towel on one occasion.
Shame on you, TMZ, you weak, pitiful men. And a reminder, it was TMZ staff who were laughing and cheering when they heard Charlie Kirk died, and then they lied about it, about being some car chase that we're watching. Yeah, that got debunked pretty quick. Now, here is something that is going to set off lefties losing it everywhere. This is possibly the biggest sporting superstar in the world, and he's praising Donald Trump.
President Trump, a friend of mine, was given a CR7 shirt, and you wrote on it, to President Donald J. Trump, playing for peace. What did you mean by that?
He's one of the guys that can change or help to change the world.
Cristiano Ronaldo is too big to be cancelled. Now let's hear from some dude in a dress, some dude in woman's face, getting irate and verbally attacking a woman dressed as a Native American for Halloween. Dude, mind your business.
She's dressed as a Native American.
Are you trans? Is that a costume or is that how you are? Huh?
Do I look trans?
A little bit.
You look trans.
But it's also Halloween. I look trans?
Why don't you just mind your own business? I'm not even talking to you. I don't give a fuck who you're talking.
You're offended? You're offended, but you're dressed up like a girl.
Gotta say, I love the look on her face, pure disdain, and good on those blokes who stood up for that woman, but our male Karen wasn't done yet.
Do girls have beards?
Well, when they take hormones and shit, they get them.
I said what I had to say.
Yeah, you said it. Now you can get the.
She can talk for herself too, guys.
She clearly doesn't want you because you're disrupting her night.
Dude, worry about chewing with your mouth open instead of trying to police other people's Halloween outfits. Now to a woman who essentially lied for a living as White House press secretary every day, telling the world that Joe Biden was cognitively sound. Well, she's still pushing that lie. That's when she's not telling us that she's black and queer. And it seems Karine Jean-Pierre is none too pleased with people noticing how often she mentions that.
Pisses me off that people who have not walked in my shoes, who have no idea who really I am as a person, get to tell me how I get to identify myself. Jake? So it's like, shut up. I was like, you can't tell me how I get to identify myself. You can't tell me how I get to call myself. Like, screw you. Like, that's not okay.
Oh, Karine, no one is telling you how to describe yourself. We are just letting you know it's asinine and tiresome when you do this when answering just about any question.
Black woman, as a person who's also LGBTQ.
As a black woman, I am a black woman, I am a queer woman, I am an immigrant. Being a black woman, as a black woman myself, that is the thing that I understood as a black woman, is that I meant a lot to people because of the communities that I represented. And whether it was women of color, black women, queer community, LGBTQ community, immigrant. And as a black woman and I have my queerness too.
Now, we've featured many liars and gaslighters on this program, but once again, Jennifer Welch manages to outdo the most objectionable spreaders of misinformation and hate with this latest diatribe on President Trump, who apparently is suffering cognitive decline. This is the left's favourite tactic, accusing their opponents of what they're guilty of. Joe Biden was as sharp as a tack, but it's Donald Trump who has dementia.
We have an incompetent, dementia-ridden running the United States of America right now. He is so over his skis. It is so abundantly obvious. Shame on corporate media or any media that isn't covering this absolute mental decline, the likes of which the world has never seen. This person should not have nuclear weapons. He got lost in Japan while the Japanese prime minister was walking him in basically a square. He couldn't follow the instructions.
All they do is lie, and it gets better. She then claims that the man who has brokered 8 peace deals in his second term doesn't understand foreign policy.
And because he absolutely does not understand foreign policy, he ends up sending out on his social media platform.
And Jennifer Welch was celebrating Zoran Mamdani's big win overnight, but she was upset there were so many white people at the victory party, seriously. And she also had this to say. She said, Americans have no culture.
Americans have no culture except for multicultural. Well said. And we need to teach people how to embrace that. These crusty white people need to learn how to embrace it.
You know, I've been writing for years about the unholy alliance between the left and Islamists. And sadly for Jennifer, she's too dumb to realise how that will end. Let's have a look at some objectionable lefties, Mehdi Hassan, Hassan Piker, Mahmoud Khalil and Jamal Bowman, regulars on this segment, hugging and carrying on. Sadly for Jennifer, she wasn't invited to this.
Mahmoud Khalil is here. Mahmoud Khalil is here. And he voted 5 times. He voted illegally 5 times.
And Zoran Mamdani was eager to lean into the racial politics during his victory speech. Listen to him just recounting racial stereotypes here.
I speak of Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas, Senegalese taxi drivers and Uzbek nurses, Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties. Yes, aunties.
And Zoran Mamdani proved to us all that he's not some dangerous commie by starting his victory speech by quoting a commie. Yes, New York, you suicidally stupid lunatics, what have you done?
The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity. For as long as we can remember, the working people of New York have been told by the wealthy and the well-connected that power does not belong in their hands.
The wealthy and the well-connected, they're the ones that were backing you, including billionaire George Soros and his failed son, Alex. Talk about unearned privilege and power. Now let's hear from some New Yorkers on why they backed Mamdani. Get ready to be regaled by keen intellects and deep knowledge of politics.
Do you support Zoran?
Yeah, he seems cool.
What makes him ready to be New York's mayor?
He sounds like he's like a Power Rangers character, so.
I mean, is anybody really ever ready to be mayor?
What makes Mamdani qualified to be mayor?
I don't think at this point it's necessarily a question of who's qualified.
Obama had very little experience and Obama did very well.
He's just a really likable guy.
What makes him ready to be mayor?
I don't know.
Why is he ready?
I feel like he's like answering.
It never really takes like the most experience.
I don't know what it takes to be a mayor, so how can I really say if somebody else is qualified?
Yeah, Spanish.
Mamdani?
Yeah.
He's been a rapper. He's about to run a $115 million budget tomorrow.
Really, New York, you're almost beyond parody. And talking about parody, how good are these guys?
Hey folks, we are Xander and Fee, and we are looking for a seed oil-free roommate to share in our gender-expansive abode in Oakland. Xander is an intuitive fermentation coach, and I am an ancestral fire maker. Xander is gluten-free, so we do not have Wi-Fi in the home. You must be comfortable with guests, as our dwelling is a soft landing pad for decolonial healers and neurospicy artists of all ethnicities. No pets, please, as we already have 6 cats, 4 of whom pee freely. The ideal roommate is unbound by capitalist temporality, as our tantric howling practice keeps us up late into the night, especially during high tide. We will be holding a silent open house this Sunday from 3 to 5. Due to Xander's sensitivities, we ask that you show up fasted and fragrance-free. Many blessings. Just kidding.
Now let's go to CNN and watch the host here allow Zoran Mamdani to lie without challenge, to muddy the waters about money for the White House ballroom, which is not taxpayer funded, and money for food stamps, which is.
Clearly see that Donald Trump is threatened by our campaign. He's threatened by it because, like his, we've diagnosed the crisis in working class New Yorkers' lives, the cost of living. But unlike him, we're actually going to deliver on that. And that is a contrast that he can't bear to see. Because while he is spending $300 million remodeling a White House ballroom, the same amount of money that could provide SNAP benefits for 100,000 New Yorkers, he's trying to make it harder for Americans across the country to actually afford groceries. And this money that we're talking about, it's money that New York City is owed. It's not Donald Trump's to decide which city or state will get what money. This is the money that New Yorkers are owed, and this is the money that we're going to fight for.
Zoran thinks Donald Trump is scared of him. Just look how terrified the president is. This is him at the American Business Forum in Miami earlier today. Terrified, clearly terrified.